All right, the next thing we can do is we can actually find the range when we're given the domain to a function. And if you remember last class, we were reminded that range stands for our y's and domain stands for our x's. All right, so that just means that we're given a function and we're given 3x values. So if we put in these 3x values, we will get 3y values. Sometimes we'll get less if they repeat. Okay, so really you're just doing the same thing as evaluating. You're just doing it however many times you have the domain values. Okay, so for example, instead of f of x, that means we're evaluating f of -2, because that's our first domain value, f of 0, and then the last one would be f of +2. So again, just like we did on the evaluating, we're taking out the x, we're putting in a -2. Be careful when you do that. When you square, you should be squaring a -2, so that'll change to a positive, and then you're adding 3. Okay, here you would take out the x, you're going to square 0, plus 3 equals, and then here you're just going to square a +2 and add 3. Okay, so here you're taking out x for each of those and you're putting in these values instead, because those are the 3 values for domain. So that turns to a +4 plus 3 is 7. 0 plus 3 is 3. 2 squared is 4 plus 3 is 7 again. So if you notice, we are repeating, and last class we talked about how, well, the video reminded us that you don't have to repeat. So in this case, our range is just 2 values, a 7 and a 3, because you don't have to write the 7 again. Okay? All right, same thing here. We would just take out the x, put in a -1 the first time around, put in a 3 the second time around, and put in a 7 the last time around. So if I put in a -1 right here, that's the absolute value of 3 times -1 minus 1. This is the absolute value of 3 times 3 minus 1. And this is the absolute value of 3 times, we put in a 7 minus 1. Okay, so this is -3 minus 1, so I think that's -4. But the absolute value of -4 is a +4. All right, here we get 9 minus 1 is 8. The absolute value of 8 is still just an 8. And then this is 21 minus 1, which would just be 20. And the absolute value of that is still 20. So since these don't repeat, we do have 3 values for our range in this case. So our range would be a 4, an 8, and a 20. Okay, 1 for each of the values that we put in. Okay?